Hey guys, okay, it's June 21st, 2012, and I'm going to show you the latest, greatest installation instructions for the MOWG system and the UAP project. The V3, we call it the third version of the placeholder website, Universal Affiliate Pages. That thing went straight through Google Penguin like a knife through soft butter. It's like Google Penguin never existed. The sites with 16,000 pages still have 16,000 pages. Sites with 55,000 pages still have 55,000 pages. Nothing's been de-indexed. The UAP is running incredibly well. It's doing the job. And so let's talk about installation. If I were to start right now we're going to start either doing runs for myself because I already know what I have that'll start selling, or I'm going to do runs for other people. Let's say somebody paid me, or let's say I just know what I want to promote right now. Either way, I'm sitting here in front of a computer and I'm going to start literally from the beginning and show you exactly what you need to do from the beginning. Nice and simple, so we can cut right through the README texts and just visually see how to do this. First thing we have to do is install three things. One is the mowg-pro software. The other is that actual UAP project. And the final thing is the mowg toolbar. So I literally took my mowg toolbar off. I removed my mowg-pro. I don't have it on my computer, but I do have the key that I need for my computer. This is the key. It works on my computer, won't work on any other computer, and so I'm going to use that, and I'm going to install this thing, and so let's go. Here you get the email with the stuff to install. So let's start by doing that. First thing I need to do is download this thing. I'm going to save it, and I'll just save as, so I can stick it on my desktop. mowg-pro v2.1, I see it. Okay, that's that one. Now I can save one more thing, and that's going to be the UAP project down here. So I'm going to save that one, and I'm going to save that as, and again on my desktop it is good, UAP v3. I understand that, fine. Okay, those are the two things I had to save. So I'm going to go ahead and close. Now let's start from here. I've got these things, I got to extract them. WinZip, extract, may as well extract it to here. It's just going to create one simple folder, and I'm going to extract this thing to here as well. Boom. Okay, now here's what we have. One folder, mowg-pro v2.1, and then the other folder is mowg demo. Okay, take your mowg demo. Okay, that's the UAP v3. When you uninstalled it, it gives you a mowg demo folder. We are going to cut. Okay, we're not going to put a shortcut. We're going to cut it. We're going to go to our computer, C drive, and we're just going to paste it right there. Paste. So anywhere in the white area, find some white area, maximize the screen if you have to, and just hit paste. Boom. And it'll show up at the bottom of the list. If you want to see it in alphabetical order, just hit refresh, right click, hit refresh, whatever, there it is. And this is what you get. And this is everything inside of it. Okay, that's done. I have that done. Now the mowg-pro, I got to install that. So let's just open this. And for those of you with antivirus, your antivirus may or may not trip over this just the way it is. So you might need to disable antivirus. Those of you who are on wireless or wired connections, if you're switching between wireless and wired connections, that can screw with the code. It can misunderstand that it's the same computer, and you can get a note that simply says, hey, this thing's already been installed, you can't install it. So just be aware of that. There's quick troubleshooting notes in here, license and use issues, so if you install this and then later you come back and you try to open it and it says the key is already in use, probably you went from a wired connection to a wireless connection or vice versa. So be aware of that. If you cannot overcome that with the quick troubleshooting notes, get a hold of me. We can drop the code you got and issue you a new code, delete the old code, and that way you're still going. Okay, we're not going to leave you dangle, so don't be afraid of it. Just realize if you switch between wired and wireless, it may not run. All right, so now what am I going to do? I'm gonna click on this installer. It's going to say mowg Professional Installer. If I do not see the extensions, that's how it looks. And we are going to want to see the extensions of all of our files. Notice how I do not see extensions on README, sequential steps. It doesn't show any dot anything, no dot doc, dot txt, dot exe, nothing like that. And that's how a lot of you, your computers are configured right now. And so we want to fix that because we do want to see extensions. We want to be able to see them. So I'm going to hit organize. Okay, some of you can do it also with tools. Matter of fact, all of you can do it with tools, even if you're on XP. And yes, the mowg-pro will work on XP, Vista, Windows 7, any of those, okay? It'll even work on a Mac running parallel Windows or, Windows, virtual Windows, so whatever. All right, tools, folder options, okay? And in here you see a tab called View. When you click on it, down here, it's going to say hide extensions for known file types. Known file types, that's like .txt, .doc, all that kind of thing. We do not want to hide the extensions, so we click that off. We don't want to hide the extensions. So now hit OK, and guess what? You can see your extensions, .dll, .exe, .txt. If you expand this out by double clicking here, .txt again. Okay. All right, now let's install this. Boom, I go to install it. It says to run. We're going to hit next. Now we got to enter our things that we need to enter. It's email. Make this real, because when we send updates, okay, we go off of this. This is the list that we have. So we expect that you receive things we send to that email. Put in your own email. Whatever email works for you, doesn't matter. Now, you need your key, which you got, and on the delivery, by the way, when you got your key, okay, the key would be at the very bottom down here, okay? There's your key, and this is just a key, okay? Just a key. You would get your key so you can copy it in. Be careful of stray spaces, but you can just copy it in like that, and it's not going to work. You need another one. So here you go. This is the one. Copy, paste. Boom. By the way, for those of you who want the 10-day trial, you have never run the thing on your computer and you want a 10-day trial, take a look up here. Right here, this is the default 10-day trial key. It's just like a credit card, so it's 4-4-4-4, and it's really easy to memorize. Anyone wants to put this on a computer? MOWG trial key 0001. So it's MOWG-TRIA-LKEY-0001. Don't go 0001, 0001. And there you go. That'll give you a 10-day fully functional version of the system. So you can run it, see how it works and all that stuff. Otherwise, when you're installing it, so what if you did install it and then you get your code? What do you do then? The answer is just install right over the top of it. Even if I install this right now, okay, and it's going to say all this stuff and install. Yes, that's all good. And it's going to install. There we go. When it's done, it just looks like that and says finish. Go ahead and click finish anytime. Okay. Now, if I need to install it again with a new key, say my key ran out and I want to install it again, just install it again. Not a problem. So here it would be. Just install right over the top of it. It's perfectly fine. mowg-pro.com. So if your key ran out because you got a temporary key and now you get some new key or whatever key, just install it again. Control C, Control V, and I'm pretending this is my new key. Okay. And there you go. Same email, different key, and it's installed. I got my shortcut right here. I can open the thing, and I'll see what it looks like. All right. Now, we don't need to save anything. We didn't do anything. Now, another thing you want to install is the MOWG Toolbar V17. When you open it, it's got some stuff in here you want to know. So what do you do with this? Watch this. I'm going to copy it or cut it. I could cut it. And I'm going to put it where? In my C drive. Computer, C drive, program files x86, stick it in there. That's typical. And then and if you don't have an x86 because you're on XP, just put it in program files. But word of warning, the MOWG toolbar only works with Excel 2010. I'm going to paste. Okay. All right. So it does not really work well on Excel 2007. It's glitchy. And it will not work on Excel 2003. And it will not work on OpenOffice because it is an Excel add-in. It was built in Excel's Virtual Basic mode. So it's an Excel add-in, so you have to have Excel 2010 to run it. Do you need the toolbar? No, not for the UAP runs. You only need the toolbar to build your own stuff, okay? Your own custom projects on your own websites where you're creating your own design and everything else. For those of you who say, what if I want to get Excel 2010? Is there a trial version of it? Yes. If you go to Microsoft.com, right here, if you do, and you go to Office Products, okay, and we're just going to go to Office Trials. Here we go, Microsoft Office 2010. Office Professional 2010 is the best by far. It beats this because it allows for macros. I don't recall whether this does or not. Most people get this. And it also has the Office Thesaurus, which is kind of cool for doing runs. It's nice. 60 days free. You can install it and you can run it for 60 days for free, full functionality, no questions asked. So you definitely have all the time in the world you need to monetize your runs. Even if you're selling them for 25 bucks a pop, anybody will buy your runs. Buy 1,000 pages from you, 5,000 pages from you for their website or any website, or for you to host in your own website. 25 a pop, you could just line up sales all day long. You know, people are willing to go for the test and see what they can get out of it, even if you're just doing it that way. I mean, it's stupid simple. It's like you could sell backlinks. 10,000 backlinks, 25 bucks, all for that. People buy it because when you produce your pages, they can backlink whatever it is the guy wants. So just ask him, what's your website? He'll tell you, that's the web page he wants the backlinks to, fine. Run out backlinks. You can say 10,000 backlinks for 25 bucks. And you could get 10 orders like that a day. And you could do it for a week. And you can easily buy the Office Professional 2010 and probably buy the software too, just off of that. I mean, it's ridiculously easy money. If you're making $250 a day times 5 days, that's $1,250 anyway, your first week. Heck, your first 5 days. Do it on through the weekend and for the next week, and there you go. It's $2,500. It buys about everything you want. Okay? The Microsoft Office 2010, the MOWG system. I mean, it's so simple to do. Again, the MOWG system's got a 10-day trial, and that's awesome. Now, what do you do after you put the MOWG Toolbar V17 in here? You're not quite done yet. You've got this stuff where you need it, but you need to attach it to Excel. We're going to do that right now. We got Excel 2010 right here. I opened it, hit File, Options, okay? And you should have all the default settings for your Trust Center. All the stuff should be the default settings, you know, and as long as you have the default settings, you're good to go. One thing to do, macro settings, you can say trust access to the VBA project object model and enable all macros. It's going to say not recommended, potentially dangerous code can run. Yeah, sure. But that's if you go and install macros you don't trust. We do trust our macros, and I run it this way all the time. Don't worry about it. And so anyway, what do you do now? You go to add-ins. So let me just cancel out that real fast to show you again. File, Options, Add-ins. Manage Excel add-ins, just the way it is, go, and what are we going to do? We're going to browse for an add-in we want. Some of these you have, some you don't. We're going to browse, and we're going to go to the C drive, because that's what we need. Program files, x86 is where I put it, and then down to, guess what? MOWG Toolbar V17. Boom. And that's it. That's what you're going to hit. Boom. And okay. Now, when you do that, you see this appear. Don't even bother clicking on it yet. Just close Excel. That kind of locks it in. That way, when you open it, it's not just for that sheet, it's for all of Excel. And when you hit it, you've got all your MOWG toolbar functionality for custom runs. This is all the advanced stuff you don't need to know anything about unless or until you want to go that far with a mowg-pro to create runs for anything. What does that mean? I'll just show you in a fast nutshell. The cut and dried version of the mowg-pro that we're going to use, the thing that we're doing is the UAP runs. That's a pre-built website already done for you. Basically, you just got to host it somewhere. The template's there, everything's done. And it has a certain look and a certain designs. But if you want to do something like vivodesigns.net, this is one that we show people a lot. Here they go. They've got their own look, their own feel, their own design, their own everything about their pages that look their way. And we want to make our pages based on these pages. We want every page we create to look just like this page here, except to use different verbiage and have a different keyword focus, all that kind of thing, page by page by page. And what does that look like when you see a finished run done? We'll take a look at this. vivodesigns.net. Wow, 8,360 pages on their site. They used to have like 10. We created the remaining 8,350. So here it is, a keyword, painting Richfield MN, you know, for Michigan, or I'm sorry, Minnesota. They're in Minnesota. If I click it, okay, guess what? You look at this and it looks just like their site, but the verbiage is a little different. It's got the same main headers. It's got the same phone number, the same notes about satisfaction guaranteed, all that stuff, calls today, custom design, whatever it is. There's a phone number. All the things that are here is just the way their website went, except everything changes. The wording here changed. The wording in the title changed. All this stuff changed. The whole keyword focus of the page changed. This changed. All that stuff. So we created it, but it looks like their website. It has their branding, their style, their delivery, all of their everything's here. Okay, and it links to all their pages, all their main pages. So we created 8,350 pages on their site that look just like their site. Okay, so that's cool, but they're keyword optimized for all of those entirely different things that are so cool to optimize for, so they can show up. And just by creating that run, we transformed their business in a month. They literally made so much money they had to go and hire a bunch of new help. Okay, very, very simple, very cool, very awesome, with a whole lot of money, and they don't need to pay for Google AdWords. They get free clicks constantly. No one sees a page like this unless they do a search like that. But if somebody's doing a search for something particular, they can easily see this website. All right, there they are. Boom, 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 and boom, and boom, and boom. They actually take like the top half of the page without paying for any clicks. Okay, and we could go through keyword by keyword by keyword by keyword by keyword by keyword by keyword. We're going to find that they're on the front page for very, very many of them. Not all of them, but probably 6,000 of them. Out of 8,350, they are on the front page of probably 6,000 different keyword combinations that are exactly word for word the way you see them here. And then if you think that they also show up for variations based on each of these, and that's typical, they're actually on the front page for probably 20,000 total different keywords related to their business. And this is why their business changed, why they got transformed, why they get so many clients now that they never got before. That's how people search when they're in the different cities, and this is awesome. Okay. Anyway, let me get back to it. So we did install the toolbar. Okay, that's what this stuff is for, creating those custom runs. Not UAP runs, but custom runs. For those of you that are not going to go that far, all you're going to do is the UAP project. You do not need Excel 2010. You don't need Excel 2007 or 2003. You could use openoffice.org, which is free, right? Openoffice.org, and use their spreadsheet. All you need is the ability to read a CSV file. So if you have Excel or OpenOffice, any version of Excel or OpenOffice, it's going to work fine. Okay, for the UAP project, the one that we did for you that's already done. Just sprinkle in some keywords and hit go. Okay, anyway, what do we do now? Let's just review. We installed the mowg-pro, that's the software itself. Okay, we installed the toolbar if we have Excel 2010. Okay, or anytime you get Excel 2010, you can install the toolbar. And what else do we do? We also installed the UAP v3, unzipped it to get our mowg-demo folder, which we cut and pasted directly into the C drive. Mowg demo, there it is. Okay, we just pasted it right in here. All right, and that's it. And the final thing that you saw us do was C file extensions like .zip, .bat, .xml, which we did by hitting Tools, Folder Options, View, And do not hide extensions for known file types. We have only one last thing to do now, and that last thing is this. We got to go to our control panel because we have to change one last setting. We're going to go to region and language. For those of you on Windows 7, it's going to look just like this. On XP, I think it's called global settings, something like that. But look for the same thing. You'll find it if you dig. Let's click this. Region and language brings up a window like this. And it's like all your standard ways of seeing things in your computer depending on where you are in the world. You know, some countries, they want to see day, then month, then year. You know, there's all these different formats, right? Well, we got a choice here for additional settings, and it's pretty much the same for everyone. Even on XP, I think it works the same way with the additional settings button. You may have to click a different tab to see it, okay? But here we go, additional settings. And here's what you have. List separator. This is for CSV files. CSV files by default use a comma to understand the difference between where the data ends in one cell and where the data begins in the next cell. But we don't like to use a comma because our MOWG system assumes a pipe. So we're going to change the comma by hitting backspace to get rid of the comma. And then if you have a QWERTY keyboard, it's easy to find a pipe. Okay, we want a pipe. It looks like an L, like a lowercase L, except that it's not. It's a little different shape. And how do you find it? On a QWERTY keyboard, if you look at it, on the right-hand side, you see the Shift key, and above that, the Enter key, and above that, one more key. Well, the key above Enter, the top choice is a pipe. So we hold down the Shift key so we can type in a pipe. Don't have any extra spaces or anything, just the pipe. No spaces before or after. Then just hit OK. Okay, that's it. So all you had to do. If you do not use a pipe, your files are going to look a little funny. And here, let me show you what I mean. Another thing we can do real quick, just because why not? If we go to our MOWG demo, we can create a shortcut on our desktop to make it easier to get in here to the V3 so we don't have to hunt for it all the time. Let's hit Send to Desktop to create a shortcut. Boom. There. That way, all I have to do now is hit this thing, and it takes me right in there where all my files are, everything is. Now, if I open a vars.csv, it looks right. I can read it. I can see what's here, and I can begin to understand what to do with it. If I did not change that in the control panel, some people have said, hey, why does mine look really weird? I'll show you what I mean. They forgot to do this step or didn't do it in the README. And so if you don't, here's how it's going to look. If I open the same file, it looks like this. And you think, whoa, what do I do with that? That is so weird. I don't know how to do anything with that. The answer is these pipes should remind you to change it to a pipe separation. So let's just do it again. Control panel, region, language, additional settings. Change the list separator to a pipe. Hit OK, OK, OK. And there you go. Now it's going to look right. All right, there's one last thing that we're going to want to do, because sometimes guys have this too. If you go into profiles, any profile you choose, there's default profiles here, right? These are defaults. You won't see the right icon. This is how it should look. Yours probably won't look like that. It might open with the wrong thing because your computer does not yet know what to open a PFL with, a .pfl, which is shorthand for profile. But keep in mind, there are other softwares on the internet that use .pfl too. So if you see an icon that does not look like this, but it looks like something else, and you click it and it tries to open something else, like an Adobe Reader or whatever, that might be why. So we're going to right click this thing, and we're going to hit Properties, and we're going to say Open With. We want it to open with this. If yours does not say that, it says something else. Well, we want to change that. And also you can hit Unblock, right? That's just nice. Nice to be able to say, I'm trusting this project. Hit Change, and we're going to open it with this. If you do not see this in the list, and you click this guy and you still don't see it in this list, browse to it. Where do you find it? C drive, program files, x86, unless you don't have one, then program files. Okay, you can check in both places if you need. Scroll down to MOWG, Mass Optimized Web Page Generation. That's what MOWG stands for. And then go into your MOWG Professional folder and just hit the one that it should be. You won't see these older ones. Just hit that one, mowg-pro.exe. Boom. And then hit OK. And that'll be the one. And hit OK. And there you have it. Now that works. And finally, there is one last thing you might want to do, because this can interfere depending on how your computer is set up. Go into, and what it would mean is you cannot get this thing to run. Your computer blocks it, and you're thinking, my AV, my antivirus is disabled. It's still getting blocked. Why? Here's why. Go into your control panel again. Hit, where is it? User accounts or users. Okay. And then go to change user account control settings. It's the UAC panel, user account control. This should be on never notify. You can move it like that. Put it on never notify. This was an extra layer of security Windows put in for everyone who really doesn't understand computers at all. And if you don't, you're probably not even seeing our program. This is for the proverbial 76-year-old guy who hops on a computer and he gets his PayPal account for the very first time, and someone's sending him a phishing attempt. He's supposed to download something. He doesn't know whether to download it or not. And this thing is just one more window that says, are you sure you mean to run this? I don't know if you should trust this or not. And he always has to say yes. Well, if you stick this on never notify and hit OK, then your computer will not keep asking you, are you sure you want to run this? It came from another computer. The answer is yes, I do want to run it. And you don't have to keep hitting administrative privileges to run it, and it doesn't get blocked internally when you go to run it. All right, now literally that is it for the setup. So now you can just take your 2 zip files here, because you're already done with them, and dump them out. And you can even take this is the installer file. You can dump that too. You can save it if you want, but you can dump it too, or just stick it somewhere in an archive folder, wherever you want to put it. I already have it, so just dump that one. And the V3 shortcut, if I just want to make this take up less space, I can rename it to V3. Boom. Okay. And I know it's a shortcut. Why? Because unlike the other folders I see, this one has an arrow. That arrow means it's going to go to wherever the location is that I see right here. The location of this V3 folder is C:\\mowg-demo, and that's what it's doing. That's where it's going. /V3. That's the final folder. That's the folder it's going to in there. Yeah. All right. So that's literally it for the setup. You know, if I did it really, really fast, how long would it take? 4 minutes. That's it for the setup. So I covered all the notes there, and we're done with the installation. So now we're going to talk about how fast we can do our first run, how fast we can get our first bit of pay, even if we're on trials of the software. All right?